Okay, so welcome to the IT Show. I'm Yasmin, this is Vedran, and today what is bothering me is something that I wanted to discuss with Vedran, and the point is that I think that the services that we pay for, or the subscriptions, or the thing that we are used to, are getting so much more expensive that it doesn't make any sense to keep all the subscriptions on. Having said that, and before I get Vedran to tell him what his points are, because I know that I am more of a subscription man than him, let's roll the intro and see you after that.
Okay, roll the dice, dude.
Yes. So, what bothered me is that first, as a normal geek, as the subscriptions came in, and as normal geek, everybody's a normal geek. Everybody in Croatia was buying all the different subscriptions as soon as they came to our country, because we were much later to the party than almost all of the world, including the countries that I wouldn't consider to be I wouldn't consider to be that late of a market as they were. So we are a small country. We are a tough country to work in, and we have some problems with our laws that are peculiar when it comes to online services. So a lot of the services were late to the market. I tried or was subscribed to most of them, including Disney, Amazon, YouTube, Google, the different services from Google, Netflix, HBO, whatever. You name it. I probably tried it. Deezer, and whatnot. Now, first, I got fed up with all the services. There is a problem that is bothering not only me but a lot of consumers, and this problem is that we have, I would call it subscription fatigue.
Okay.
You are paying for Spotify because they are offering music, but also if you are buying Amazon Prime, you get Amazon Prime Music, which is also offering music. If you are subscribed to YouTube, you are going to get YouTube Music for free. So there is another music subscription there. So suddenly you are paying for the things that are overlapping, and there is no real reason to do this. This is one thing, and the services are conveniently bundled so that you cannot buy one without the other. So, for example, YouTube had basically up until yesterday, they had a subscription that was covering only the YouTube without ads, and now they have migrated all the people and said to them that they need to either upgrade to the full subscription with the music, or they have to just enjoy the paid version of YouTube.
And Google is removing Google Podcasts as well.
Yes. Google is removing, and this is one of the things that I wanted to talk about, because I think that what is happening is that the prices for the cloud and prices for everything that was included when we started the cloud services is skyrocketing for a couple of reasons. One of those being that they didn't perform as well as they promised themselves that they are going to perform. So they cannot give any more free lunches to people who are joining. This is one thing. And the other thing is that simply subscription services are becoming much more expensive. So do you think that I'm wrong in any of those points?
Generally speaking, no, but I think that there are other reasons why this is happening as well, and we should lay them out on the table as well. First and foremost, yes, they are becoming more expensive because they are not as successful as they were probably projected to be. I agree. There are loads of reports that say that, so I'm not going to go over them. Second thing is that a lot of people tried like you and stopped using them. And I'm covering the whole gamut of cloud services there, including stuff like the regular, software or platform or infrastructure as a services clouds like AWS, GCP, Azure, whatever. A lot of people are coming back from cloud or hybridize at the best. Definitely the fatigue is happening, and there's a lot of overlapping things that are either here or there or on both sides in multiple different services. But for me, even bigger problem is something else, which is that I call this the DVD region repeat. What's happening in, for example, in Netflix and Prime and some of the other subscriptions for video. Because here in Croatia, unless we do VPNing to USA, etc., we cannot get 95% of the movies that we would probably want to get, and don't even get me started on series. So our offerings locally really not all that good. Rarely you find something that's very interesting or new or old if you wanted to watch something a little bit more vintage. So that's a big issue for me for subscriptions that I have. Furthermore, it's not only that, it is the self-corrupting mechanism of how capitalism works. Because at the end of the day, you always try to make more money. I'm not saying that this is necessarily only a bad thing, just to clarify. But it is a topic that keeps on repeating itself. And for some reason, maybe it's getting a little bit more extreme in the past couple of years. There are certain things which are contributing to this. Rising prices of energy and whatnot. So I definitely understand a part of that. But also I think that a lot of the things that have happened in the past, let's say just only the past year, in terms of the price increases for various types of subscription-based services, is off the rails crazy.
Okay, let's speculate a little bit, because I have a suspicion that I cannot verify in any way or form.
Okay.
But I think that what we are seeing right now is part of the bubble bursting, because when the
.com volume 2.0
or 3.0, whatever version is current right now, patch level 2, what we are experiencing right now, I think it's part because a lot of those services over-provisioned in 2019, and now they're coming to the end of the cycle where they need to buy new hardware, because they are usually on 3 or 5 year cycles, and now they have a lot of unused hardware. They have to basically write off those assets and buy new hardware and reiterate the normal renewal of all the hardware in the data centers. And right now they don't have the projected numbers of units, of numbers of subscriptors, whatever. So I think that part of the problem is that they mismanaged the numbers, or misrepresented the numbers when the 2019 and 2020 crisis started, because this was the time when everybody's expected that everybody's going to just buy subscription services and stay at home. And I think that this didn't happen, or it didn't happen the way the big players expected it to happen. And I think that this is one of the contributing factors that has a lot more contributing force than one would expect.
Okay, I have a different take on this, and I think you're going to understand what the flaw in your logic is, because there is a flaw. 2019 is something else than 2020. 2020 is a year when COVID started. And that year, I think you remember very well what happened. We all ended up online and whatnot. And I remember for personal experience, when I tried to provision some VMs in any of the clouds that I could use for various partners that I work for, it was absolutely impossible for weeks to months, depending on the cloud, which means that they were under-resourced in terms of hardware. Then they bought a lot of hardware to cover this, because they projected a lot of that demand is going to keep on coming, not only currently, but in the future. But now that kind of COVID bubble has dispersed a little bit, now they're left with the original problem, which is let's say the reversal of the original problem. They have a lot of resources, and people are not there to buy into those resources anymore, because a lot of companies have gone back to the work for hybrid or office, and it's not like they're using as many cloud resources as they used to have. So I think that's when you couple that with the correct assumption about the 3 or 5 year cycle, you get basically what you have today. So I agree partially and disagree partially with you. Okay?
I would disagree with your assumption of 2019, because I think that when they made plans in 2019, they made normal plans that were normal for this point
Projected
in time,
growth
projected
of-
growth, and so on and so on. Suddenly, 2020 came around. They projected a growth that was smaller than what actually happened. Then they over-projected basically, because they said
exactly.
that this is going to remain the same, and now we are 3 years later. And I think that this is part of the problem, because they are left with a lot of hardware that is going to expire, basically.
No, it's going to end up on the secondary market, and you and I are going to buy it.
Yes, but it is
It
going to
happened in the
expire from their perspective.
Sidebar, you know that we have a couple of servers that came from Facebook.
Yes.
Secondary hardware. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, we have 2 or 3 of them.
Yes. Also, we got the switches from Electronic Arts.
Yes.
I got switches from Hetzner, I think. But I know that Electronic Arts get the switches, or I got them through a dealer. And the reason why I know they're from Electronic Arts is because nobody bothered to even reset them. So
The same as the Facebook servers.
They were completely set with on the internal network for the Electronic Arts, including the location and everything else.
I had ILO that ended up with the facebook.com name of the host, and the server name that was the same.
But putting that aside, subscriptions are getting more expensive because they need to pay a lot more for different things that have happened. In the
No,
last
it's
3
about
years.
the growth. It's about the growth and their inherit will, which became the only will in the past couple of decades to satisfy their shareholders. They have to deliver the projected growth, but it's not the same as it was in 2019 and 20.
Yeah, because I see a pattern there. I see.
That's why they're rising prices to meet the
because I see a pattern.
numbers.
AWS is more expensive. Azure is more expensive. Google Cloud is more expensive. Google is eliminating services. Price of the existing subscription is going up. All the different services have cut their cost and up their prices a little bit. Some of them a lot. Because in the last couple of years, the family plan that I'm using from Google went from something like 12 euros to something like 20 euros now. So this is not a small percentage of increase.
Let's follow up on that. In 2022, Microsoft's E3 prices for Microsoft 365 went from $32 to $36 per seat. E5 went from $35 to $38. Office 365, what used to be E3, 20 to 23. E1 went from 8 to 10. The basic
So 10
business
to 15%.
$5 to $6. Business premium from 20 to 24, and that's 2022. And then it happened again in 2023 because another round of everything becoming more expensive happened as well. And most of the services actually followed up on that, or are following up on that now in the past, let's say, 3 to 6 months.
Because when I was talking to a couple of my former clients, we were talking about things like Jira, things like subscription-based services that are, I'm not going to mention, but subscription-based services that basically forced the users to go from on-premise solution to the cloud solution. Right now are sending out notices that they're going to up the prices. And suddenly you don't have any way of avoiding it. Because back way then you could just, say I'm going to put my own cloud online and I'm going to install the services. It's going to be a one-off fee that is going to be much bigger than the cloud service price. But then I'm going to absorb it into my own cloud, and then this is going to be it. Right now, you don't have that option, and the cloud is not even remotely cheaper than it used to be.
It never was supposed to be cheap. That's a completely different topic,
Yes,
but which we can cover. But
the DCO and the rest of the blues is not something that is going to make for the fact that this is getting much more expensive than on-premise cloud. Right now, taking into account used equipment, taking into account the ways you can configure your cloud, on-premise cloud, you are left with only one solution. The cloud doesn't make any more sense. But let's leave this.
Yeah.
Yes, but let's leave this.
I mean, just to kind of cover that, Netflix also followed with let's say $1 to $2, which was something like 5 to 10% more more prices this year as well, and many other, and Spotify as well. So whichever way you look at it, even the services that we use so that we can stream something versus the cloud services, which are different model altogether, all of those have gone through a lot of price hikes.
Okay, and the other thing that we should remember, because they used to be free, there used to be a free model for for small businesses for the Gmail. So this is completely this has been completely cancelled. So you used to have a model where you could actually create what was it, something like 100 accounts for free on the and using your own domain on the Google Workspace. Now this is completely gone. It used to be first 125, then 20, then 5, then it was gone. You can still do it if you say that you are running a personal account on it, but this is something that can change at any point in time.
Yeah.
Workspace and Microsoft both cut their unlimited plans.
Yes.
Dropbox has eliminated the unlimited plan. So everybody is switching from unlimited to limited or from free to paid. Because they are just trying to get some money back from the customers.
You want to hear something that's in reverse to that story? Do you remember
Yes.
way, many moons ago when Google started with Gmail?
Yes,
What was the capacity that they gave us?
I think it was a gig.
You're correct. It was a gigabyte.
Yes.
And how much is it now? Back then, that was a huge amount of space.
I don't know what the actual amount for the...
Right now, I think it's 15.
Because I know that they had, at one point in time, they said that they are eliminating the limit of 1 gig, and then each day they are going to up the limit. And there was a counter that was going up, and they said that they're going to just up the limit, and you're not going to be paying for your email ever again.
I think it's 15 now, which is 15 times more, which is basically a proof to the opposite direction.
Yes, but on the other hand, back way then, you could actually put a year of your emails in 1 gig of storage, or 2 years of emails. And today, with all the media included, it's practically impossible.
Yeah,
I have something like 120 gigs of email on the Gmail.
I ended up in a situation in which I really had to go and pay for the Google service because it was becoming really crazy, the amount of stuff that I had to constantly manage and delete and whatnot, especially with the phones syncing to Google and whatnot. So for pictures and stuff like that.
I'm completely fine with this, because I think that the email service in particular is something that I don't want to do. We were talking about this already.
I just wanted to say that.
We were talking about this already. This is one of those things that are best left in the hands of people who are actually doing it day to day.
Yep.
Email is getting more complicated by the day. And even I wouldn't even bother you with this.
Yeah, I know.
Because
Me
this is something that should be done by a dedicated personnel in the Google Cloud or Microsoft Cloud, because they are basically the main providers of email right now, and they are redefining the standards.
You know what's for me the biggest difference between Microsoft / Office 365 and Google as an email service specifically?
No.
For more than 5 years now, Office 365 search is broken.
And the other thing is that
pisses me off to no end.
What Google did great there is that they didn't even try to create a dedicated client.
Yes.
They started as a web service. They are a web service. They're planning on. Okay.
You have IMAP POP free and whatnot, but these are standardized protocols.
This is something that first you have to manually turn on, and the other thing is that nobody does this. You are basically using when you're using Google, you're using Gmail and in the web. Okay, they had their own things when they were trying to implement Inbox as an alternative client for the Gmail. Do you remember this?
Or Hangouts?
No, but Inbox was a dedicated client for email, and they, I think it was one of the better, I would say, a better experiments that the Google did. But it also ended on the Google graveyard as the rest of the services. But by large, all the services right now are getting more expensive and more difficult to administer. And this is something that I think has a deep impact on small businesses, because suddenly you need to pay a lot more per person that you are employing to be able to
Yeah,
do
your operating
the-
costs are going way up.
Yes, and they are going way up, and you cannot do anything.
No, because that's the way in which a lot of businesses have been structured around the idea of cloud services. You're completely dependent on them, and that's what it is. Which is exactly the reason why, for some of my the customers that I have, I told them do not go that way. Just have your own Exchange server, and actually, I still have a couple of them.
As long as it is allowed.
It is allowed, but yeah, I noticed that Microsoft is starting to play games with, we are not going to receive any emails from the Exchange on-prem servers versions, this and that. There was some kind of report about this a couple of weeks ago. I remember that one, and don't even get me started. And you know what? Before I forget, and I might, the worst part of the experience of using Office Microsoft 365 is the Outlook app on the mobile phone, which is utterly useless, and searches very well from 2019 backwards.
But okay,
Completely unusable.
I think that this is one of those sarcastic things that I must say. It seems that Google and Microsoft had their own pet peeves. Google is completely unable to create a messaging app, but they are
Which is perfectly fine.
They are constantly trying. And Microsoft is for some reason unable to create a search app. And they are trying with Bing, they are trying with the Outlook.
There's no Copilot for this, Copilot for that, Copilot.
Yes,
How
yes.
about you fix your freaking search in Office 365, Microsoft?
Or on any desktop that they get their hands on. So Windows 10 is now.
What's the name of that application that you're using on Windows for searching and indexing?
Search everything. Search everything. Yes, search everything.
I think it was Search Everything. Yeah. I wonder why people have these applications.
But the problem is that applications like this, or even Power Toys, Power Toys are working amazingly, not because they are amazing applications, but because they are not changing constantly. You get an application that is doing its job, or keep it simple and stupid. So you are basically doing what is normal in the Linux world. You create an application, it has a simple interface, you have a text box to input your search, and then you have a big box that is going to output the results. This is it. I don't want Cortana, I don't want animations.
Cortana is dead.
Let's leave the zombies where they are, because yes, it is going to remain under earth for probably a couple of years,
and then resurrect.
Then resurrect and reappear as another service that is going to be AI based.
I have a very sick and completely idiotic idea for an episode.
Which one?
Microsoft Windows Power Toys over the years.
Power Toys and Microsoft Garage, because they're garage projects, they are...
Do you remember Windows 95 Power Toys and those old ones? Way back in the day.
Yes, but the problem is that Microsoft always has this part of the I would say innovation that is completely
backwards.
No. They are innovating backwards in the main product, and then the actual innovation happens on the fringes. So you have Power Toys that are fixing things that are not working in Windows. You have sysinternals, which are amazing tools for everything that needs to be done in Windows.
Yeah, Rusinovich is a dude.
Yes, but those two products are the main thing that they have in common is that they are trying to do their job, and they are not changing over the years.
They're trying to fix things that Microsoft didn't do well.
Or they're just trying to do their job. They are, okay, I want to see my network connections. There is a sysinternals utility for that, and that's it. It is not suddenly trying to become sentient and trying to recompile whatever is in the kernel driver for the network to do something. Nobody is caring about this.
If I can add something to that story, which kind of reminded me of one of my pet peeves with most of the operating systems. One of the most common problems that people like you and me have when they are dealing with, let's say, as if you're being hired as an external consultant or engineer or whatever, is hooking up to the networks in the client offices where you are. Specifically, there will be people who have DHCP and people who don't. Switching those profiles in Windows and in Linux by extension can be a funny process, especially if you are like me and have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever companies that you work for. Every time I get there, most of them don't have DHCP. I go insane. I used to use an application called NetSetMan for that. I really don't understand why some kind of a tool for that can be brought into the operating system, because it's not like people are buying laptops in millions because they are not moving them anywhere.
And this is one of those things that completely puzzles me, because even Network Manager in Linux, which used to be insanely unusable, had this as a feature from the start.
Yeah.
So you could create a network profile. It was supposedly able to understand where you are, and then choose which network profile do you want to use, and then reapply it with DHCP or static settings or whatever. And this is something that is completely missing in Windows. The only thing that right now is I think is worse than the search is the way Microsoft is trying to hide network settings from the users.
Or even better, you have to input additional administrative settings, username, password, whatnot, so that you can open network settings.
Okay,
remember that one from the labs.
Yes, but one of those
I would
things.
I would pay subscription price if I had an application that can deal with some of these problems for me. While we're on the topic
I
of paying.
think that this is one of those things where Microsoft is trying to push for PowerShell to become a more useful tool, because they're creating a graphical interface that is so useless that the PowerShell is the only way forward. Because I don't want to waste time trying to find out where has Microsoft hidden the settings for the network.
I'm using a different laptop this time. You know why?
No.
Because my Dell laptop, when it was being used for file transfer from a ESXi host, decided to update Windows and then crashed, and then broke the boot sector on my UEFI formatted NVMe drive, which coincidentally also has BitLocker. So that was fun. Recovering that was fun. Thank you, Microsoft.
I'm going to just say that...
and I have to reinstall, because I did manage to recover it to boot, but it's crashing constantly. So here comes the time when you're going to happily tell me, yes, Vedran is installing Windows 11.
But I'm not happy. I'm not happy that you're installing Windows 11.
Because, I will not install Windows 11.
Because everything that's going against your will is something that Microsoft is pushing. And Microsoft is pushing for it is something that I'm not happy with. I think that what Microsoft is doing wrong is that they're constantly trying to change because they need to innovate. And I'm completely on board for security innovations, for changing things.
Why does the start button need to be in the middle of the taskbar?
But why cannot we decide what the Windows logo is going to look like?
Why don't we have Windows Classic theme?
No. But why is Windows logo constantly changing?
I don't know. Why not? It's their prerogative to change it. I don't care.
Functionality. Why do I have to
I'm all about functionality. I don't care about the.
What I'm against is translucent windows. What I'm against is search not working. What I'm against is search completely missing the point. I'm installing something. I have something installed.
I can top this. All of that you said.
I have something installed. I try to find it. It's not there, and then I go and directly click on it. And then it suddenly appears in the search.
Yeah, search tends to work in Windows if you put your computer online, but I can top this. Whoever decided that the power profile of Windows Server since 2012, I think, onwards, by default needs to be balanced power profile, my congratulations to you, sir or madam. This is the biggest pet peeve that I have with Microsoft is exactly that. I can survive everything else.
The other thing that what is extremely bothering me is the sleep settings on new desktops.
You mean removed power profiles?
Yes, and the sleep settings, because each time I'm setting a computer up for somebody, I'm almost immediately I want to reapply all the updates. If my network connection is not so quick to be able to download all the updates, it is going to basically go to sleep before the updates are downloaded, and then it's going to take me a couple of hours more, because I'm going to discover that it went to sleep. Then I'm going to put it out of the sleep. It's going to continue downloading. Then it's going to reboot. Then it's going to go to sleep. I'm going to notice this is going to sleep, and so on.
Story of my life.
Yes, and this is one of those things where Microsoft is innovating by creating a button that says apply updates as soon as possible, but then going to sleep on the entire machine.
You know what happened to my partner's computer a couple of days ago? Outlook stopped working.
Outlook?
Yeah, on Windows 7.
That's okay.
No, it's not. You know why? One of the updates deleted the TLS 1.2 and 1.3 nodes client and server settings in registry.
It's for your safety.
Yeah, it's for my safety. That's because I reapplied it via registry keys, and
Yes.
now all of a sudden it works again.
Yes, it's for your safety.
It is, yeah, sure. Because TLS 1.2 is not safe enough on Windows 7.
There was a warning. I was installing something on Synology a couple of days ago, and there was a warning that says...
Tufa?
Sorry?
Tufa? Two-factor
No.
authentication?
I decided to ignore that one. 2FA is completely bonkers, but no, not this one. The other warning: your system may update automatically and they may restart during the update.
Ugh, I don't want to live in a world where that's possible.
You can actually now configure Synology to completely auto restart without your authorization. And if you are not paying attention, you can do it.
Okay, today when we are finished with our recording session, me connecting to every single Synology that I'm managing and administrating, and
7.1
removing the default gateway.
So 7.1 and 7.2 is going to be the things that you need to change.
That's going to be Windows, basically, Windows Update version.
No, but we have come to a point. Okay, we have come to a point in the podcast where we started talking about subscriptions, and now we are just ranting about Windows. But
Synology, obviously.
Yes, we have come to a point where every piece of infrastructure that tends to try to say, okay, we are enterprise infrastructure. No, they're not. They're small office, home office. But they are trying to...
You're talking about Synology?
Yes.
They do have an enterprise storages now.
Yes, but for some reason they decided to use the same interface as they used in the small office. So suddenly restarting in production is completely okay. What is my biggest problem is when I'm creating a solution for somebody, I'm more or less creating a solution to a puzzle. So I'm taking pieces and putting them in the right places and trying to make this thing work. Suddenly, all of the pieces are independent. They are thinking for themselves. They decide where they want to restart.
Became sentient?
Yes, they decide where they want to reconfigure. They decide where they want to stop or start DHCP in the Synology world. For some reason, right now, this DHCP is a big problem. I don't know why. So suddenly, my pieces in the puzzle are completely independent. And now I have a basically organic solution that is restarting by itself, breaking down by itself, reappearing, repairing itself.
As if you're watching a bad game.
Yes, and the problem is that my users are not used to it.
Okay, so basically what you just did is describe yourself as a painter. Puzzles, colors. Wait, I'm not done.
Architect.
Okay, I'm not done. Or whatever. That just means that you have to learn to use the new colors, or if you want in architect terms, new materials.
Yes, but imagine that you are building a house. Mm-hmm. And suddenly your bricks decide that they are going to take a walk every couple of days and just go for a stroll around the house and then come back to this place.
That will be fun, not?
Yeah, so this is what has happened in the enterprise world.
I know.
And this is for our safety.
I have something else to add because you just triggered me for no reason, but you are not to blame. It's Synology's fault. If what you said is true, and I'm going to verify that with my storage at home, then there's another explanation that needs to be made for those listeners among us who are not familiar of how storage devices work in the enterprise. There is one single stipulated rule. It's like what Einstein used to do, like postulates. You do not touch a storage device if it works properly. And never ever update any kind of firmware unless there is a real functional reason for that. Even security holes don't necessarily have to be the reason to update the firmware. Reason being that you isolate your storage device in management terms from all of the other pieces of network, from the other networks, and then there is no security holes that you need to take care of, especially if you're talking about enterprise storage like FC or whatnot. So the idea that somebody is going to automatically restart my server, that means that in production for Synology storage devices that are used as iSCSI, for example, there will be a lot of virtual machine corruption. I'm waiting forward for that. And I am literally going to come home tonight and I'm going to remove all the default gateways from all of my Synology devices because that's not going to happen on my watch.
And the other thing is that the complexity, now we have opened this Pandora's box, the complexity of the solutions is becoming even more of a problem.
Okay.
Because, for example, I have a former client of mine who bought a new Synology. They bought something, I think it's some 16-base solution. So it's not a small Synology thing. It's a 16-base solution that has 8 gigs of RAM. So it's a big unit. Of course, they decide to implement Docker on it.
Of course, because it's an available service.
Yes, and they say, okay, we have enough computing power for the Dockers that we want. They implemented, I think it was a backup. It was Pi-hole DNS Docker, so they are able to block the ads on their network and so on. Suddenly, your network storage becomes a point of failure for the DNS.
For firewall,
For the firewall,
security in general,
and for the entire network, because your DNS is going to go down. This is one thing. And the other thing is that suddenly your network storage has a Docker. Inside this Docker, there are images running or containers running, and you need to take control both of the storage, which can independently auto-restart, and the Dockers, which can independently auto-restart and re-update.
independently of each other as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So this is the it's not the reliability that I'm bothered with. It's just the unpredictability of it.
No, what you're bothered with is the fact that you're going to lose the rest of your hair. That's all.
I think that the first thing that happened that was wrong when the interrupt request lines stopped being hardwired with the jumpers, and they started being
automatically programmable via BIOS and whatnot. Yeah.
So this was the first step in the big decline of the IT sector.
Oh, holy man.
So this is the thing that I want to finish with, because this is going to be obviously a short episode, because we just gave up on the subscriptions. We said that the subscriptions they are just going to be more and more expensive, and everybody's going to give up.
Maybe we have a couple of other topics to cover. Who says that we're done?
Yes, but what I want to do is let's leave it for the next episode.
No. I wanted to cover something from the original topic.
Oh, okay.
There are certain things that we need to discuss. Actually.
So 40 minutes in, we are back to the original topic, and
actually
40-ish.
35 minutes in. But,
okay, but
30-something minutes in. Well, who cares? I would like to make a clear distinction between the subscription services. Excellent. Yasmin's laptop is telling him that he needs to reboot soon.
And it is going to reboot in 15 minutes time, because right now it's not my working time. So in 15 minutes time it's going to reboot itself.
Yes, because working hours in Windows is a good idea. Anywho, I think that we need to make a clear distinction between the subscription services that we are using as private persons versus for business.
But my primary topic was users.
Okay.
So I wasn't expecting to even talk about AWS and Azure.
Okay.
The only thing that I wanted to touch was the fact that they are getting more expensive.
Okay.
So they are part of the problem. But I'm more focused on Spotify, on the Deezer, on the YouTube, on whatever service.
I have a couple that we didn't mention, and then we can do let's say a person-to-person comparison between us. So we mentioned Google Office 365. We mentioned Netflix. I use Linode as well.
Okay.
We won't cover on that for a second. Patreon, but that's a completely different topic. By the way, we have a Patreon as well. GoDaddy.
Okay.
And I have a subscription to a service that helps me with working on some designs, including on some of the designs that I do for our show as well.
What, Fiverr?
No, of course not. No.
Why? Fiverr is completely okay.
No point. And EOD, okay, for the time being. Linode for me actually has been a thorn in my eye for a couple of very peevish reasons. So they're not real reasons, because generally speaking, working with VMs, with instances, with Linodes as they call them, in Linode Cloud.
Droplets.
Whatever, who cares?
Okay.
Is not exactly super expensive, realistically speaking, but when you start stacking stuff up, virtual machine plus backup plus network traffic plus this plus that, all of a sudden that becomes quite an investment every month. So one of my virtual machines that I'm running there that used to be used for commercial education, that for the company that we work for. Almost every single month it was, I think, something in the realms of 70, 80 euros, which is a lot of money for a single virtual machine with, I don't know, 2 vCPUs and 6 or 8 gigabytes of
Okay,
memory.
but you have a lot of storage there because you have videos
I
there.
don't.
Okay.
I don't have no. There is no. There isn't a single video hosted there. Video is hosted by completely external service.
Okay.
So no, it's a basic Linux CentOS machine with 2/6, so 2 vCPUs, 6 or 8 gigabytes of memory. It has, I don't know, 20, 30 gigabytes of disk, nothing more than that. So that's actually hugely expensive for what's on offer. Then furthermore, I mentioned GoDaddy for the purposes of registering DNS domains and whatnot. I did not notice that they changed their pricing in recent times. Am I wrong?
I actually have no idea because, to be completely honest, when I'm buying the domains, it's usually on impulse, or I'm just used to
Because he's a professional troll.
just renewing domains,
That you already
just
have.
renewing domains they already have. I don't remember that they were this expensive, but on the other hand, it's not that much. The only thing that I wanted to mention is the Hetzner, because the prices for the storage for some reason went down. Because
If I remember correctly, you're using them for backup for your personal machines.
yes, this is the storage for 5 terabytes. It's 13 euros per month.
It used to be what?
It used to be much more. I don't know how much more, but I know that 5 terabytes was something that was way out of the idea of even being something used for the backup. And this has unlimited traffic and it works. So, and it is a SSH box. So you can SFTP to it, you can do WebDAV on it, and it's a box that is useful.
I used to use Blackblaze for that as well. So
I use
very
Blackblaze
similar.
on my private service, but this is different because I can connect this to all of my laptops and use this as an external drive.
Yeah, that's okay.
So this is one of the reasons why I use it.
And I have just one more thing to add to the list of subscription services privately used, which is our triple play local services. So coincidentally, completely coincidentally, I had a telephone conversation with a representative from our local telecom provider that offers the triple play service, internet, TV, and phone for the second apartment that I have.
Okay.
And our subscription for that location is going to expire in a week or two, and they called me to tell me that I need to renew the subscription.
No, you don't.
Wait, yes, I know. That doesn't bother me. I know I can. What bothers me actually is something else. The way in which those services have grown stupidly expensive is insane. So they're asking for some kind of internet connection that's something like 5 megabit download, 25 or something like that, 20 megabit download, 5 upload, plus TV service, plus phone that nobody uses ever. They're asking 70 or 80 euros a month, and the sales representative that called me kind of like wanted to display that offer as something that's super competitive. I was like, what the hell did you eat today? In which type of LSD are you using or whatnot? Because that's at least double the amount of money that I used to spend for that.
But I'm going to go with okay. First and foremost, I'm not buying any triple play services anymore. So in all the locations that I have provisioned with the internet in the last couple of years, I only bought internet completely without any other.
There are locations where you cannot do that.
Yes and no, but I had luck that I could use it in 3 locations. I only have internet on those.
Okay.
I have a paid plan for the internet TV, so if I need internet on any of those locations, I can just plug in the box and have the internet, have TV on it, and it works. So I don't care about those. Those are completely separate. What I'm paying is something like 30 euros or 23 to 30 euros for either a gig, so 1 gig / 200 megs upload, or I think the other location is 21 euros for 200/50. So
All of those combined are not as expensive as
yes,
single one
yes,
line.
yes.
Yeah, I know.
So it's something like I think that it's something like 67 or 68 euros for all the three different locations combined.
That's actually so. For one of my locations, which includes the crappy TV program that they have. Okay, it has, I know, a couple of programs that you can choose and you can change them every month or something. And the new wow feature is that you can have 2 set-top boxes to receive that service, which I don't need, want, or care for. So, and I'm telling you, the sales manager was very, very enthusiastic about how that's very competitive and blah blah, which only makes me think that I need to shut it down completely.
My personal experience with all of this is just you just push for what you want to do, and they are going to give. They're going to give,
Give in, yeah.
because what I actually did is on my primary location at my home. I have a next door neighbor, and she's actually next door, so actually next door neighbor,
Oh, yeah,
and
right.
she was quoted 15 euros more than what I was paying for, because they said that there is no available infrastructure for her to receive less expensive connection.
Service. Okay.
That's an outright lie, because she's next door to me, and there is a free fiber line in my house, and it's 1.2 meters from her house. I measured,
I know.
and then when I bought the connection, when I bought my subscription for the internet, I got a letter from the operator, and I just asked my neighbors, so okay, so this is the letter. Just send them this and ask for the same service, and say that you are not going to get anything from them unless you get it. They said okay. Suddenly it became possible to connect.
Yeah.
Yes, magic event. And this is one of those things that is bothering me. But this is just basically bad practice on the part of the operators, and we are used to this.
Oh, it's way more than that, I think. But okay, let's leave it to that. I think that it's not in full compliance with the law as well, what they are doing, but not up to me to judge. Okay.
You just give me the context. I'll deal with it. I don't have a problem with
Reporting and whatnot.
Yes, just talking to the nice guys at the telecommunication authority and asking them to just check on the practices in this particular location, because it's forbidden by the law to have different pricing on different locations.
I mean, it's the same location in your case.
Yes, but it's forbidden.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just
wrap this
compare.
up.
Yeah, let's compare the services that we use and then wrap it up. So you have Google, I have Google. You have Office 365, but not privately, I think.
I don't have privately Office 365. I have an Office 365, or I used to have it, and then since I got it with my job, I just canceled my subscription.
I do have it still privately. Actually, 2 of them.
Okay, I don't. I have an Office 365, the free plan on Outlook, but I'm not using it that much.
Okay.
It's just because I could, so I just created my account.
Okay.
I have Spotify.
I have Spotify as well for the past couple of months, not years, and I'm going to shut it down. I don't need it.
I understand why, because YouTube Music is better.
I can just use YouTube as an app to
yes, and YouTube
play
Music. YouTube Music itself is an app, and it works better than Spotify in most of the cases.
Okay.
I have YouTube Prime, YouTube Red or whatever it is, Premium, and I have Amazon Prime for some reason.
I have Amazon Prime and Netflix in terms of TV services. For some reason as well. I have a smart TV at home that has clients built in because it's a Sony, so it's a vanilla Android TV. Those apps work really well. And from time to time, I do kind of like watch some of the things that are there. But the main problem is still content, because content in Croatia versus content outside of Croatia is completely different ballpark. I have F1 subscription as well. I would guess this is just a you thing.
Yeah,
it's a me thing, yeah.
It's what I want to see about F1 is usually the highlights on the YouTube, and that's it.
Okay, that's more than I thought that you were interested
No,
in.
no, no. I'm just when something is happening, I want to see. I want to know what is happening, but I couldn't be bothered to watch guys driving for 2 or 3 hours.
That's okay.
Basically in a circle.
Here comes the magic question, and I
Yes.
know it's stupid to ask. How much
Yes.
do you spend on Patreon?
Oh, more than what I would like to admit. Something like 20 something dollars. More than any of the subscriptions that I have.
Exactly the point that I wanted
But
to make.
I'm
But
thinking
I
about...
would call this a good example, actually.
No, but this is one of those psychological things. Unlike Spotify, unlike other things, I know who I'm giving money to.
Yeah.
And since I know that they are getting the money because they are saying that they are getting the money, I think that, or I feel that my money is being well spent.
Agreed?
And I don't think that, I think that I'm in a position that I can afford to support a couple of, okay.
You can read.
Okay, the pedal show.
Yeah, $40 per month.
40.
40.
What do you get in return?
I get some additional Patreon content, but it's not. I'm
Do you
not.
get any pedals?
No, I don't need them. I have loads of them. No, I'm paying for this for the very same reason why you are paying for your Patreons, which is I like the guys who are doing that. I want to help them, support them. That's that. Just like you do for There's Your Problem and a couple of other things.
I'm going to be completely honest. I'm paying for AVE or AVE, Arduino versus Evil. You know who the guy is. There's a problem. I'm paying for.
I used to have a couple more actually here.
I'm paying Big Live. Big Live is amazing. Every dollar I spent on him is the dollar correctly spent. So I like different content creators that are, I wouldn't say abnormal, but people who
Outside
are
of the box.
outside of the box, and the people who are creating the content because they want to. Almost all of those started and remained people who are creating the content that they like.
Yeah.
So they are not.
I respect that as well.
They are not trying to accommodate for different listeners. After all, the guys from there is a problem. Have a slogan that the podcast that hates you back. So
Yeah.
basically,
There's a person who hates you back on Twitter if you communicate with them.
yeah, Liam. But
Yeah,
the thing
Liam.
is that I like all the creators that have their own identity and their own way of dealing with things. Because what I hate the most probably is when people are trying to craft the content so that it fits the the audience or the public. Almost all of these guys are completely unrelentless. They started creating the content, and the content they created, I don't know, 5 years ago is the same type of content that they are creating right now. Okay, it's much more polished now because they have much more experience, but the content itself hasn't changed, and the way they are telling things hasn't changed.
Okay, let's reverse this before we end, because I know for a fact that I'm spending way too much money on Amazon and eBay every month, and I know for a fact that you are spending some money on Amazon, eBay, and some Chinese websites to buy stuff. Do you think that you spend too much there? This is not subscription based, but it's still something that service or product that we pay online for.
I used to buy a lot of Chinese crap before, and then I think that I have reached a point where I don't want to buy any more things. Not only because I don't need them, but because I haven't fully utilized the things that I already have. So, for example, I have a project where I want to put up some LED strips around the house. I have, I don't know how many tens of meters of LED strips in my project workshop, and
in his mess,
and my mess in my workshop, and they're waiting for me to get them connected and to put them on the, I need I don't know, I want to buy now I need somewhere to mount them on the wall, and so on and so on and so on. But I have a 3D printer that is working. I have now I have a laser cutter from the as of recent. My own campfire at home.
Yes.
But the thing is that I don't have enough time to clear my desk. I have so much things that are ready as a project to be finished that I don't have the time to do anything on this. So I decided, consciously decided, I'm not going to buy any more tools, and I'm not going to buy any more stuff from different Amazons or
Chinese Amazons.
Chinese AliExpress and so on, because why would I need one more radio station, a radio transceiver?
Because you're a ham radio dude.
Yes, but I have 6. So I think at this point in time, this is just a slight case of overbombing.
Never ever apologize for the fact that you're a small male child. That's over the years.
And
the only difference between you, young, and you now is the price of the
okay,
price.
okay. Just one small point. If you are into ham radio, you are either one of the two types of people. Either you are going to buy a lot of trinkets and play with them, or you are going to concentrate and buy a decent rig that is going to be as expensive as an expensive guitar, for example.
Okay.
They can go up to
Many tens of thousands of euros.
yes. Let's say that a normal rig without any outside accessories can cost something like 15,000 euros, and then an antenna that is working is going to cost you a lot more. Because you need some sort of a mount, and the normal ham radio mount is usually measured in meters or tens of meters. So when suddenly you just
A little bit of concrete, a little bit of
yes,
iron.
yes. You need rebar. You need rebar. You need to dig a hole. You need to create your own concrete base.
Slab, yeah.
And then put up the mast, and then the mast you put something up. So basically, I have a colleague of mine who has a 40-meter high mast in his front yard, and then on the top of the pole is the actual antennas. So it's
Because they need to communicate with aliens, like SETI at home, you know.
No, but the thing is that
I'm just kidding.
no.
Of course.
I'm trying to be completely honest here. I love ham radio.
I know. I used to love it as
I
well.
have absolutely no idea why, and
Don't
I
need a
have
reason.
and I even ran out of illogical reasons why I like communicating with people over long distances.
So now you're interdimensional reasons. That's what you're
So
working
now
with.
I'm done with logic. I'm done with
Now you're
illogical.
fuzzy logic.
No, I'm done with fuzzy logic and the illogical reasons. Now I'm just moving sideways.
Okay.
So I'm outside of the realm of normal reasoning. Now I'm sideways. So I don't know why I'm doing this.
Stop vibrating on different frequencies.
Yes, but it's fun. For
It is.
some reason, it's still fun.
It's always going to be fun.
And
Which
it's
is my point.
I know that people who are communicating, they're a dying breed. The thing that I didn't mention to you is that there is a server out there that is called Ham Radio Shack.
Okay.
And they are basically providing VoIP service for the ham radio operators
For free.
Yes. So what you can actually do, you can connect Cisco or whatever VoIP phone you have at home. You can connect it to the exchange, and then directly call the person who you just talked to over the radio, and they can have a telephone call to them.
Welcome back to our college, in which we were sitting right next to each other and talking on the internet relay chat and talking at the same time.
Yes, but
Talking in stereo.
so I think that we are just finishing the technology circle with the ham radio operators. So they started with radio when nobody had radio. Now then they started with telephone lines over the long distances when nobody had did that. Now they entered the realm of VoIP.
Okay.
So-
I have a question, Professor.
Yes.
What about the number stations?
I don't care about those.
Damn it, I was hoping that that's going to be an interesting topic for you.
There is an interesting site that follows there is a Signal Wiki. Signal Wiki is basically trying to catalog all the different things that people heard in the on the radio frequencies, And if you're interested in trying to deduce what is happening, there is a lot of interesting stuff out there.
Yeah, I know.
The number of stations is just one of the least important things.
But quite a bit fun things
But
for a lot of people.
From my perspective, much more fun is, I don't know, railway communications. You can listen on two-way communication within railway infrastructure. You can listen on
Police
traffic
radio
lights.
messages.
No, traffic lights. You can listen on different measuring stations that are running in VHF. That they're getting the data over the airwaves. So there is a lot of things to listen on. You can, I don't know, I would say, let's guess. Okay, I don't know what the prices right now are, but let's say at $50, you can buy a stick, get it connected to your computer, and you can listen to all the different weather stations around you that are supported in the ISM band. And you can basically, what I'm doing right now is I don't have my own weather station. I'm listening to all the different measuring stations around my house.
Okay.
So I have something like 7 or 8 different sources of data with temperatures and humidity information.
Our dear colleague yesterday passed his PhD examination, and the topic was actually correlating different types of weather reports into one which is reliable.
Yes.
You should have helped him, dude.
So this is one of those things, but we are now completely off topic. Let's finish this.
Actually, this was exactly the reason why I pushed the conversation in that direction. I wanted to trigger you to keep on talking.
No, but I can keep on talking. It's not a problem.
My evil plan worked.
Yes, but I think we should be talking about or creating an episode on different
vintage technology.
No, the ways people communicate, because one of the things that is really amazing for me is when I was much younger and you were much younger. So when we were not 2/3 in, when we were maybe 1/10 in.
Talk about yourself.
1/10 in. Talking long distance over the phone was extremely, insanely expensive. Mm-hmm. And you didn't talk to your family except
Christmas,
Easter, birthdays, and when something happened.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if somebody called long distance and it wasn't one of the holidays, somebody died. Mm-hmm. Basically, that was it. And then right now, the cost of communication is basically zero.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk through whatever service. You can the Twitter is or the X is going to create its own service to talk to people. You can talk over the Facebook. You can talk over the
Viber,
WhatsApp,
Microsoft Teams, and whatever.
Any
online.
of the 17 different chats that Google has, and so on and so on. And you can talk to people even using the phones. There are a couple of phones that have or had for the last 10 or 15 years had their own different web service that enable you to connect different phones. I'm talking about Siemens right now. There is a Siemens One connection that you can actually connect all the headsets that are IP connected for free. And the amount of talking between people, long distance, still hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. And you still are not communicating outside your normal circle. So I think that the amount of communication that you are able to see is not the amount of so the change in the way we communicate is not following the way we can communicate or the different technologies that we have.
Okay, that's not necessarily bad.
Yes, yes, but sometimes I think that. Okay, let's make an episode on it. I think my main postulate is that we have turned the idea of being able to communicate into the feeling that we are communicating.
Agreed.
So people are saying, I can talk to such and such, and suddenly 10 years passed and you haven't said a word to them.
Yes.
But you can call them anytime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this
abundance
is
of something means decrease of the value of something.
Yes.
That's it. Okay, that's it.
Okay.
By the way, not to beat on my drum, but you have a cool T-shirt.
Yes, thank you. This is I got this from Vedran.
Again, not to beat on my drum. I just like the T-shirt.
Yes, but I know that you like. I also like the T-shirt, and the idea is to put on the proud display the greatest computer that ever was. and then
According to him, of
and
course.
then talk about it and have a nice chat about which was the better, C64 or Spectrum.
Do you want a 5-minute debate on that or a full 5 hour?
Let's leave it at
For future-
for future
Five-
reference.
Yeah,
For
but
future reference.
I'm
Yeah.
just asking. Okay,
As an exercise to the reader. Yes.
feel free to close it down, Mr. Professor.
Okay, so this was that IT show. Was and I still am Yasmin. This is Vedran. Apparently, we are not doing our SEO optimizations correctly because I was notified that nobody can find us under our real names. So we should be doing something about this. But in the meantime, thank you for being with us and bye bye.
Bye.